I understand this is going to be our spooky dookie episode.
More dookie than spooky, maybe, but I feel compelled to play our Halloween song nonetheless.
This is Swish Edition with Dale and Scott.
You're listening to the Swish Edition.
Ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else in between, here are your new best friends. They're your hosts, Dale and Scott.
Do you like it?
It's fun. I love Halloween.
I know. Do you remember this song?
It rings a bell.
It's been a while. So I guess this is officially our Halloween episode. It's October 26th, and Halloween is just a few days away. We're gearing up for some kind of Halloween extravaganza. We don't know how many people are coming. It's probably going to be the smallest Halloween party known to man, right?
Yeah, and I don't think it's going to be that. It's not going to be all that exciting considering the people who are coming.
Oh, the slam, man. It's your family.
Yeah, it's true.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Anyway, happy Halloween, everybody. Hope that you have figured out what your costume's going to be by now, because if you haven't, it's too late, probably.
You're screwed.
So screwed. You can always just put a bag over your head, right?
I guess so.
Yeah. Or what's the go-to outfit for a girl going to a Halloween party? It's a cat, right? You draw some whiskers on your face and put some ears on. I think that's it.
And what about for a guy?
God, there's so many easy stuff. I mean, you could just put a trash bag over yourself. I don't know.
Yeah.
Piece of shit. Call yourself a bag of shit.
Bag shit.
Right?
Or the aluminum foil thing. It goes the leftover. Remember that?
No, I don't know what that is.
You're not serious.
No, what is that?
You wrap yourself in aluminum foil and
Okay.
you go as a leftover.
Oh. That would be really hard to move with aluminum foil all over your body.
You make
Wouldn't
it
it?
loose, so it works.
Okay. Anyway, I want to talk about dads on duty. I want to start the show with something really good and feel good. This makes me really happy. And I've literally been saying this for years. I have.
Mm-hmm.
I think that parents should be in the schools, all of our schools, public, private, what have you. Grade school,
Why?
Kindergarten through, especially high school. Why? For this exact reason.
Mm-hmm.
After a violent week of fighting in a school that saw 23 students arrested in 3 days, Southwood High School in Shreveport, Louisiana, the parents went into action. They knew something had to change, so a couple dads got together and started Dads on Duty, a group of about 40 dads that take shifts going to the school. They're there every day, greeting the students when they get there in the morning. And it's been maintaining a positive environment of learning rather than fighting.
Absolutely stupid.
I
Absolutely 100% stupid.
I think you've lost your mind. I think this is one of the best things that I've heard lately.
I agree. It's feel good, but
No.
it's stupid.
It's not stupid.
It's 100% fucking stupid.
I'm actually really, really surprised that I'm getting such pushback from you on this
Because I am
issue.
over shit now, and this is stupid.
It is not stupid.
This shit starts from home, and if your child wants to go to school where that sort of activity is not allowed and it gets you arrested, you're arrested and you're expelled.
No, I get that. And I get that
Because
violence
there's
in
no
school should-
personal responsibility anymore.
I get it. And personal responsibility is important, and there should be absolutely zero violence in school. There should be zero tolerance, obviously. But it's not just violence. It's also just everyday bullying. I was bullied in school.
Well, of course, I was too. And I agree, things have to change. So maybe you put together, make the health department a little bit bigger than just the one person when you go in your nose bleeds or you have a cough or you just don't feel well. Have some mental health, hire some mental health for all the public schools. This is bullshit.
I'm so upset that I almost want to press stop on the recording because I don't understand why you're not on board with this. I think it is such
100% not on board.
Genius idea. Why wouldn't you want parents
I'm glad that they
in the schools
that they like to go, but if this is a prerequisite to stop the violence, then there's something bigger going on.
No, it's the first step. Granted, obviously something else needs to be done. But I love this idea of having parents in the school, and I've been advocating for this for years. I think parents should be in the schools. Every parent of a kid that's in grade school should take a shift once or twice a semester and be there. Be in the schools, go to the classes, be there at lunch, be at gym, go to assemblies. The parents should be in the schools. We'd have so many fewer problems in the schools if parents were there. I honestly believe that. Why wouldn't you want to be involved in your kids' schools? My mom was involved. My mom was a room mother when I was in the 3rd grade. She, came in and made the cupcakes for our Halloween parties and stuff like that. Of course, I understand they're not allowed to have Halloween parties anymore because it's the devil's work, right?
Well, my parents weren't involved, but they couldn't. It just wasn't possible.
But we need to make it possible. And what I would advocate is that kind of like the Family Leave Act.
Oh, look at you becoming a Democrat.
The Democrats are so interested in, which I think is bullshit. I kind of think it's bullshit, and I really hate getting into the politics of stuff. However, a lot has been said lately about Pete Buttigieg, who is our Secretary of Transportation, who since August has not been working.
He's on paternity leave. He's
the Secretary of Education.
No,
of Transportation.
That's just a standard.
We are having a horrible crisis in our transportation industry right now.
He doesn't need there to get the job done.
He doesn't need to be there.
He's the face of the office. He doesn't do anything.
It's ridiculous.
He doesn't do anything. He's the face of the organization.
One, they didn't need to get babies during this most important job that he's doing. They should have waited.
You are so one way or the other. It's fucking weird. There's no gray with you. There's no gray.
It makes no sense to me. So two gay guys get married and decide to have babies, right?
Right.
There's 2 of them. One of them can stay home with the babies, and the other one can do his important job of running the transportation department. What do you need 2 husbands at home?
Speaking from someone who has no kids, you have no idea of the challenges that it takes to raise a fucking child. I don't want one. I know what it takes to have 2 dogs at home, and I don't like that.
I know one of us always has to be home with those damn dogs.
And they could take themselves out.
Well,
you just got to open the door.
Anyway, we've gotten so far away from my original thesis here that I'm so upset with you, Dale Blades, that you went against me on Dads on Duty. I think Dads on Duty, I want to send them money. I want to send money to Shreveport, Louisiana. I think this is wonderful what these guys have done.
No, I think it's great. But the find that this sort of thing is necessary to keep public schools safe is just fucking ridiculous.
What would you, as a principal in a public school that had 23 students arrested in 3 days because of violence, what would you do?
If you get that type of violence where you're arrested as someone who is under the age of 18, you're doing some serious shit.
Exactly.
And you probably should not be in that school. You're arrested and you're expelled.
You know what it makes me think of?
It don't come back to me saying, oh, well, you don't know where the problem lies is coming from the home. I know it's coming from the home, but I don't care how much money you make. Mm-hmm. I don't care what race you are.
Right.
There's decency. That costs nothing. It costs nothing.
I get it, but what is the point there when you've got 23 students arrested in 3 days in Shreveport, Louisiana's high school?
These are obviously kids who have not been taught the right thing to do.
What is going on that there's that much violence in your friggin' high school?
And if you're getting
which is why the parents have to step in.
And if you're getting
because
arrested
the administration's not dealing with it. They're not dealing with it.
Because they're not supposed to. That's not their job.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
You can handle little spats, but if it comes to the point of violence where you need to call the cops and have kids arrested,
well,
shit's serious.
If it wasn't for Dads on Duty, you know what I would do? I would shut the school down and send all the kids home and say, you know what? Homeschool your kids, because obviously you haven't created decent human beings who can operate in the school system.
Decency costs
I would
nothing.
shut down the school.
Don't care what your background is.
All right.
And I wish
I don't see what your point is. What is your point? How do you fix the problem if you don't have the parents in the school?
it's not the school's problem to fix. It's not.
Okay, so they're just going to continue to call the police and have their students arrested for violence.
And then the parents take care of the kids. This is your issue. This is what he's done. It's not acceptable in society. You got to fix it. If you can't fix it, then there are opportunities to go see someone for help and figure out how to hit it. Why is it the state's and the school's job to fix these kids, but they're there to educate? I mean, what kind of diplomas do these teachers and school officials need to be able to handle kids? Are they now going to be police officers?
I'm going to give every student, every teacher in Shreveport, Alexandria. I can't speak. Let me start over. I'm going to advocate that every teacher in Shreveport, Louisiana, has a gun in their desk. That'll teach them.
Now you want to shoot them.
Hey.
It's just ridiculous. There's just no responsibility. So you got to put your foot down. You got to.
Well, I think that's what they're trying to do.
Got to put your foot down.
They're trying to do that. Let's go from that ridiculousness to another ridiculous lawsuit that has been filed against Kellogg's. A $5 million lawsuit because there's not enough strawberries in strawberry Pop-Tarts. This is the kind of shit that we've been talking about for years, like the hot coffee spilled in the lap.
Oh, God.
From McDonald's. Or the too hot gravy at KFC.
Right.
Now we got a problem. Anita Harris, down there in southern Illinois, has filed a class action lawsuit against Kellogg's because she says they're misleading consumers by promoting the breakfast pastry's strawberry filling. There's not enough strawberries in there. It says right on the package it contains 2% or less of dried strawberries, dried pears, and dried apples. And that famous red number 40 coloring.
Right.
It's right there on the nutrition label, but she's still suing them because there's not enough strawberry in the strawberry Pop-Tarts. She says that the strawberry Pop-Tarts cannot provide a true strawberry taste since it's overwhelmed by significant amounts of other things like pears and apples. She says it gives a false impression. So she wants her $5 million. This is what's wrong with America. And this is why...
I'm biting my tongue.
This is why Pop-Tarts are so expensive. This is why everything's so expensive, because companies like Kellogg's have to defend lawsuits like this. Listen, if you want real strawberries...
Go to the fucking store.
Go to the grocery store and buy real strawberries.
If you think you're getting 100% strawberries in a fucking Pop-Tart, then you need to be educated.
There's absolutely no nutritional value.
Of course not.
Zero nutritional value in a Kellogg's Pop-Tart.
But they are lovely.
I love them too, and I
prefer
think
the brown cinnamon and sugar ones. They're my favorite.
I do believe we do have a package of strawberry Pop-Tarts upstairs in our pantry. And I realize that they're a nice, tasty snack.
Yes.
I realize it's not a healthy breakfast.
Right. So if all of the things that she's suing against is literally written on the label, right, or the box, right? So she likely has no case, right?
It's a frivolous case that the media has gone crazy with.
You make her pay for the legal costs of Kellogg.
That's done in a lot of these cases. Is someone like Kellogg's will countersue for legal damages.
Exactly.
Yeah, because it's a frivolous lawsuit. Listen, it's just like someone claiming that there isn't enough. I don't know, what's something crazy like Doritos? There's not enough.
Or a bag of chips, where they inflate the bag with like nitrogen or something to keep the freshness of it.
Right. And the bag is really only half full.
Right.
But there's no way. Yeah. There's no way to give you chips that it's 100% full because we need to put some air in there so that it doesn't flatten all the chips.
What am I even trying to say?
What are you trying to say?
You bring a lawsuit, right? Because you've been harmed, right?
Yeah.
What harm has a Pop-Tart done that costs $5 million? Unless it's class action.
There isn't any.
But she's not asking for that.
But I want to know, who are these lawyers that take on these cases?
It's fucking stupid.
Because you can't win a case like this. This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Exactly.
Anita Harris needs to go to Harris Teeter
And maybe
or Whole Foods and buy a pint of actual strawberries and eat those for breakfast.
Right. And maybe if the judge determines this is frivolous, you now owe Kellogg's their legal fees.
Yeah.
And you look to the lawyers of the person of this woman and say, look, you're on notice.
They should be disbarred.
This is 100% frivolous.
Disbarred. Yeah.
You're on notice.
On notice, people.
But you also are due constitutionally like legal representation. So I don't even know if they could even turn it down. I think I guess you can get a public defender.
What's so crazy about the fact that there's so many things on the market that supposedly taste like strawberries. Strawberries don't really taste like anything. It's kind of a fake thing to begin with.
Strawberries taste like strawberries.
Do they? I don't know.
Well, what do they taste like to you?
I mean, strawberry things don't necessarily taste like strawberries. That's what I'm saying. They taste like sugar and sweetness.
Well, of course they do, because they don't have real strawberries in them. Because you can't put it on a shelf and let it sit there for 6 months and it still be good.
That's one good thing about Pop-Tarts is you can put them on your shelf and eat them a year later. Hey, we were wrong last week, and we're always willing to admit when we're wrong. We've been doing that a lot on the Swish Edition lately. We will, if you think that we're wrong and we figure it out, we will come back and tell you that we're wrong. I don't think we're wrong about strawberry Pop-Tarts. They're not good for you, people. But they are delicious.
That I agree with. Yes,
they are fun.
And I agree with that. They're delicious.
But last week we were talking about filming of television shows and movies and how so many productions have moved out of LA and California because of tax reasons and the cost of doing business in Southern California. It's not so true. On-location filming is actually booming in Los Angeles. The third quarter of 2021 was the third best quarter in 26 years.
Wow.
Shooting days were up 3.4% from the second quarter beyond, and skyrocketed more than 140% from the dark days of the pandemic a year ago.
Well, you can't even include that.
I know, that's kind of stupid, isn't it? Even when I wrote that on the script, I was kind of, well, that's kind of stupid. Same thing goes for
anything.
The restaurant, the sit-down restaurant down the street.
Yeah.
Okay, I get that. But people are still making movies and TV shows in Southern California.
The thing is, they should be leaving LA.
Should they? I don't know. CBS's SEAL Team, NCIS Los Angeles, NBC's Mr. Mayor and This Is Us, ABC's The Rookie and Home Economics, which we mentioned briefly last week.
All the shitty ones.
They're all made in LA.
No one cares about the shitty ones.
Okay, but HBO Max is The Flight Attendant. We do like that. That's made in LA. Hulu's Pen 15 and Netflix's Monster, they're all made in LA. Less than 6% of shoot days were on shows that received tax incentives. So most of these shows, almost 95% of them, 94% to be exact, are not getting tax incentives from LA County, but they're still making their shows there.
Right.
Now, I have a theory. I think it's because of the pandemic that a lot of productions aren't going on the road because it's easier to stay at home during the pandemic.
Of course.
Right?
Right.
It's hard to go on location.
That city is made for that, right? So that's what you do. You stay where it's easy to make when you don't have a choice to go elsewhere.
Yeah.
But as it lifts, it's probably likely to go elsewhere, right?
Yeah. One show that was made in LA for its entire 10-year run was Friends, which we've talked about on the show before. James Michael Tyler, who played Gunther, he was the barrister at the coffee shop.
I never watched Friends. I hated
Central Perk. I don't know what's wrong with you, Dale. Anyway, he died this week. He died on Sunday at his Los Angeles home after a long battle with prostate cancer. He was too sick.
Phoebe, Joey, and Ross were the worst characters in that whole television show. So bad that I couldn't watch it.
Oh my God. Ross is one of the funniest characters on the show.
Horrible. Horrible. Hate that show.
I think that this is one of the worst episodes of the Swish Edition ever.
No, it's not.
We're not agreeing on anything.
That makes it bad.
James Michael Tyler was too sick to participate in HBO Max's Friends reunion it was taped last year. It was on this spring. But he did call in via Zoom. A lot of people call him the seventh friend, which I think is a little generous since he wasn't really the seventh friend.
It's a shame because I like that guy.
Yeah, he was a great guy. And I'm sorry that he died. He was 59 years old, Gunther.
Oh, should we just talk about what we were just talking about?
What's that?
Having your funeral before you die.
Oh, well.
See, that's something we should talk about.
Albert Brooks, the fictional version of Albert Brooks, who is a great comedian and filmmaker, was on the season premiere episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm this past Sunday on HBO. And his character, playing himself on the show, they're all fictionalized versions of themselves. Of course, Ted Danson and Mira Steenburgen is on there, and Richard Lewis, and they're all playing fictional versions of themselves on the show, including Larry David, the title character. He decided that he would have his funeral while he was still alive so he could hear all the good things that people would say about him. So that was episode 1 of season 11 that was on this past Sunday night. It was really fun. And I actually think it's a really great idea.
I think it's absolutely fantastic.
If you're getting up there in age or you know you're dying and maybe you've got only a few months to live, what better thing to do than to call all your friends together and have a party?
I would love to go out with a party. One big last hurrah.
It makes so much more sense than a maudlin, horrible, depressing funeral afafter the fact. And
have everyone come to your house, be able to enjoy it instead of paying $10,000 to the funeral parlor down the street.
Right.
To take all your money and just have people cry.
Let's do it now.
Let's do that. Do it now.
I mean, if you know you're dying.
We got to make this a thing. This needs to be a fucking thing.
Well, let's put it out there. If you guys are dying or you think you're going to die soon, have yourself a funeral and invite all your friends.
The thing is, it's incredibly morbid, but you got to be real with yourself. Look, I'm an age. I have a disease that's eating me alive. I want to go out and I want to be here with you all, celebrate my life. It's one more shot.
If I knew I only had a few months to live, let's say here it is, October 26th, right?
Yeah.
And I knew I'd probably be dead by Christmas. It might be great to get everyone together around Thanksgiving.
I think it's a great idea. We need to make this a thing.
I would like to see you.
Yeah.
Well, what's the point of all getting together after I'm gone?
There's a whole new market for Hallmark. I'm telling you, there's money to be made in this.
Pre-death funeral invitations?
Exactly. It needs to have a better name. It needs to kick more.
Should we
not pre-death? I don't.
Wait a second.
That's
Wait
weird.
a second. Hold on. Hold all the horses. Could this be our new business idea?
Yes. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Is there a business there?
Yes, it is.
How would we make money off this?
And I realize
how would we make money off this?
Oh, because we're gonna sell shit. We gotta make this. Like you sell
Pre-death.
T-shirts. This is my pre-casket shirt.
My pre-death funeral.
Or my pre-burning shirt.
This is so horrible. I feel bad if anyone's listening who has a loved one who just died or is
Death is sad. It's hard.
Right, but
grieve.
But what is a funeral all about?
You gotta stop that. Everyone you know is going to die.
What is a funeral all about, though? It's basically a celebration of that person's life, right?
And they can't see it.
So this is, and I love these people who instead of having a funeral or a wake, they call it a celebration of life.
Love it.
After the fact, after the person's dead. But instead, let's do it before you're dead. But of course, then you can't do that for everyone because someone's going to die in the car accident tomorrow and you don't know that was going to happen.
Well, of course.
So then you have to have it after.
Exactly.
Or you get shot on a film set in Santa Fe. She didn't know she was going. We're going to talk about that later in the show. Well, I don't know if we're going to talk about that because it's such a horrible, horrible thing.
It's horrible, and we're seeing it every freaking day. The same shit over.
Well, let's talk about it now since we brought up the Alec Baldwin shooting story. You guys know it. We don't even have to tell you about it. I don't know that there's much news here except that apparently the assistant director who was in charge of the guns and ammunition on set was fired from his last job for the same exact fucking reason.
Yeah, he was the safety guy, and this was all over the news yesterday.
Yeah.
All over the news.
Right.
That this news came to light. This guy was just not good at his job, but somehow was able to get himself in. Let go from previous jobs, safety concerns. There were meetings and like voicemails between the current cast of this Rust film or series. I don't know what it is.
It was a movie.
About
Western.
safety concerns about him.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
I feel
if you need someone liable, it seems like it's going to be this guy, whoever he is.
Well, and of course, Alec Baldwin is a producer on the movie, so he's going to be liable, and not because he was the one who shot the gun. That's not why.
Well, wait.
He may be liable in the fact that it was his production that allowed this to happen.
Of course.
He's not going to jail, I don't think.
No, I don't think that.
But poor guy. I mean, he's already gone through so many fucking PR nightmares.
I know,
PR nightmare man.
But did you hear the story that the guy who we're questioning right now, the bad safety guy, took that prop gun out hunting like the weekend before?
That was a rumor. I don't know. Is that a fact?
I don't know. I've heard that on the news.
I don't want to perpetuate that because we don't know that that's an absolute fact. I did hear that.
I haven't heard it in a couple of days, but that came about.
So horrible. The whole thing is so horrible.
It's horrible.
But why would live ammunition ever be in the guns on the set?
Right.
That's the problem.
Like why isn't that type of prop that can shoot live rounds
ever allowed?
Not be locked up.
Yeah.
In the prop barn somewhere.
The prop barn. Well, let me tell you, if it was the case that someone did take it out and there is a lot of hunting that goes on in northern New Mexico.
Course.
We live there. We know that happens. If they did that and accidentally left a live round in the gun that was brought back to the set on Monday morning, that person needs to go to fucking jail because that is a horrible, horrible lapse of judgment.
Right. That gun should have never left the set.
Of course not. Of course not. We don't know all the facts, and I don't want to jump to conclusions, and I really hope that this doesn't ruin Alec's career for the rest of his life. It's not his fault. It seems, as all the news that we're getting, it doesn't seem like he did purposely shoot this woman in the stomach.
You just never know. You got to listen to news every day because there was a point in time Brian Laundrie was innocent. I'm just kidding. I was just kidding. It was a bad joke.
Yeah, we haven't even talked about that on this show because it's just kind of a nothing. I will be very interested to know how he died. Did he kill himself? He probably killed himself because he probably realized, dude, I have no life left.
Right.
Where am I going to go? I assume that's what happened with him.
But that he used dental records. He was gone for
he's been gone for a while.
Long time.
It took him a long time to find him.
Yeah.
I'm excited about this. Kieran Culkin is going to host Saturday Night Live on November 6th. Excited about this because I've never seen him do anything like this before. If you guys don't know,
could be fun.
Kieran Culkin, he does play Roman on Succession, HBO's hit series, which just kicked off.
Oh, come on now. You're selling him short. He was on Home Alone.
Well,
he was the little brother who peed the bed.
He was on Home Alone. He was the cousin.
Cousin who peed the bed.
Yeah. Anyway, he is going to be hosting on November 6th, which is a week from this coming Saturday. And the musical guest was supposed to be Ed Sheeran, and we're not sure he's going to be there. Ed Sheeran tested for COVID this past Sunday in Europe, in England, and he can't get to the United States unless he gets a negative COVID test. So we don't know that he will be the host. I mean, the musical guest.
The last I heard is that SNL was trying to work out a virtual musical guest for this week because maybe it's cutting it too soon to get a new one. So we'll see.
Well, they still have a week and a half. I mean, there is no Saturday Night Live this coming Saturday, October 30th. They've taken Halloween week off.
Yeah.
Which seems kind of a shame to me because you would think that a Halloween episode would be perfect for Saturday Night Live.
They could do a lot of fun with that.
And since Saturday is October 30th and the show goes till 1 o'clock, it would definitely turn into Halloween while they were doing the show.
But maybe, they're all young on that show. They probably have better things to do.
Maybe so.
And
they did 4 episodes and they're taking a week off, and then Kieran Culkin will be back for November 6th. I'm excited about it. I hope J. Smith Cameron shows up. She plays Waystar Royco's general counsel, Jerry.
I like Jerry.
And Roman's twisted love interest, as we know.
I will say, I think Jerry is my favorite character on that entire show.
And did you know this? That J. Smith Cameron and Kieran Culkin are best friends in real life.
I love it. I fucking love that.
How great is that?
Love that. Love it. She's my favorite.
In related news, do cell phones work on private jets? Because in the very first episode of the 3rd season of Succession, very important conversations happen between the characters on their mobile phones on private jets while they were flying across the ocean.
Yeah.
So some people went into hyperdrive to find out if this is true. Yes, cellular phones do not work on private jets unless they're set to work over voice over Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
So most private jets do have Wi-Fi, which is connected to satellite systems.
Yeah.
So they could use their phones.
Because I have my phone currently set as voice over. You select the Wi-Fi version because our cellular service here is shitty.
All right.
So that's what we use to be able to have calls.
So it is possible.
It is possible.
It is possible.
Yeah.
Britney Spears might be getting her revenge. Did you hear about this?
No.
She says, "Lord have mercy on my family's souls if I ever do an interview."
Uh-oh. Is that going to be an Oprah conversation?
On November 12th, finally getting her hearing whether the last 13 years will be dissolved. The conservatorship will be dissolved.
Yeah.
And I think she might just hit the fan. All the shit's going to hit the fan.
Yeah.
I think she should do a sit down with Oprah. I mean, who else do you do the sit down with?
Right, that you have to, because I mean, look how big the princes were. The Prince
Harry and Meghan.
Yeah. It could be big time. It could be big time.
It'd be the interview of the decade.
Plus, she's batshit crazy.
She is batshit
because Harry and Meghan were they were concentrated in their answers, and I don't think Britney will be, and that will be a show to watch.
Do you have something to tell us about this Friday's Binge Bum episode?
Yeah, it's going to be all Halloween. We're breaking our rule this week. We'll have a little bit of news, but we're breaking our rule because the rule is, if you don't know, that we only talk about original streaming shows. So even if something appears on HBO, that doesn't mean it's an HBO Max original.
Binge Bum is all about shows that were created specifically for streaming services.
Exactly.
Right.
So for Halloween, we're breaking that rule, and we're going to show you where to find all the good stuff, all the classic Halloween series and films.
So if you're home this weekend, we're gonna tell you where to find all the scary shit.
Like Carrie is out there.
Yeah.
All the Friday the 13th are out there. They're available.
Love it.
They're available for you don't have to rent them. They're available with your streaming service if you subscribe to them.
Is Ghostbusters gonna be on the list?
Is it streaming? That's my favorite. Okay. Well, I actually own the Ghostbusters.
Oh shit, we ran out of music.
Oh no. Well, happy Halloween, y'all.